Well, hello everybody. How are we doing today? Mic check. 1, 2, 3, mic check. Can you hear me? Am I coming in loud and clear for everybody? Viper, hello. McKay, hello. Imperial Trickster, hello. Coming in loud and clear. Rex, hello. Audio is good. Sweet. Sweet, 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 sweet. Love to hear it. Oh, and my mic's falling down. Love that. Love that. Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. How's everybody doing? Are we having a good day so far? Let's get some camera action going here. Hi. So we're in a fancy new spot. If you can't tell, little fun area. Still a work in progress at the moment with the setup, but yeah. So got a new little streaming corner here. Correct more. Do we have a list of mods that have been tested? I'm curious to actually try the new map, and I'm worried something obscure like Crazy's blood packs might still break things. Would save me the hassle. So, Crackmore, yes, on the patch notes that we pushed out for the patch update on the 22nd of July, there's a list of about 25 mods that we've confirmed working. If you go to !Discord, if you're not on the Discord yet, you can go find all of our patch notes, all of our status updates, and links there. And we go over those, as well as previous videos, previous stream VODs. If you go !YouTube, I'll go ahead and put both of these in the chat for you now. !YouTube is going to have all the previous stream VODs. !Discord is going to have the Aquatica Discord. You can come, ask your questions, put your feedback, submit bug reports, things like that there. So, yeah. But real quick, before I keep going, I see a lot of questions already spewing in. First off, welcome to the first stream of the new week. Today, Tuesday's dev stream. It's going to be a fun time. We have a lot to cover, actually. Let me turn the music off because I can't focus right now. A lot to cover, okay, when it comes to the update that we pushed yesterday. We're going to go over the patch notes there. We're going to have a Q&A session. We're going to go dive into the Western Islands, which I've got a main character set up here. I'm very excited to do for you guys. It's going to be a fun time. We're going to start fresh. I feel like starting fresh is going to be a nice way to explore the islands a little bit more as a new character. And yeah, going to have some fun in the game. And then we're going to do a little bit more Q&A at the end. So it's going to be a fun time. But to kick things off, let's just jump right into this. Let's get into this Q&A session before we jump into these patch notes. It's going to take a pretty good chunk of the segment, but I want to hear from you guys first. As always, we have developers in the chat. Jammy Egg should be around here somewhere. Jammy, if you're in the chat, please say hi to everybody. Guys, if you have questions, if I don't happen to get to your question, be sure to ping Jammy Egg as well. And other developers will be actively taking screenshots of your questions, of your bug reports in the chat, and we're going to push them up to our dev channel. So, that being said, let's dive right in. Can the Stinger ship be fixed to where you can actually use it without it just being the same with hover skiff? So we are addressing the issue of the skiff and the Stinger disappearing. The patch note that pushed out, I'll explain this one. It seems like there's a bit of confusion with the fix that we pushed out for the Stinger in yesterday's patch. A lot of people thought it was the fix for it disappearing. So we do have a fix in the works for the disappearing issues of the skiff and the Stinger. The Stinger patch that we pushed out yesterday was the crashing issue, where the Stinger was causing other players who were in close proximity of an active Stinger from crashing. So that issue has been resolved. That was the issue that we resolved and pushed out in yesterday's patch. So I apologize if there's any confusion there. Yellow. Hello, Jammy. Can I get that poster behind you? This one? This poster? I want this poster. This isn't even my poster, but I want it. It's really cool. I could use an Ark poster for my home office. Jammy is in the house. Look at channel bug report. Okay, which Carbon, which one? There's a lot of bug reports in there. If you're able to ask it in chat here, Jammy can provide an answer for you, hopefully. Shing fam. So any FPS fixes? So we are pushing out FPS fixes and optimization fixes in increments, just because the map is a very large map. There's a lot of space that we have to cover, large chunks. So what we're doing is, as we are optimizing chunks of the map, we're then pushing out those pieces with the patch updates. So instead of having you guys wait for just one massive push, that may take us a minute, we're going to try to push out an iteration, these FPS fixes and these level optimizations as efficiently and effectively as we can. We'll go through the patch notes here. Let's do about another 4 minutes of this QA, and then we'll go into patch notes. Any updates on the loot tables, including Tuso saddles from Hazmatics? Jammy, could you answer that question regarding the Tuso saddles? The server crash hack? What server crash hacked? Are you referring to like the Windows 10 crash cheat? Val, so that doesn't mean they're tameable. It just means that now the Abyssal Reaper offspring, instead of staring at you menacingly in the abyss through the bushes, they now actually attack you. So, you know, as if they already weren't creepy enough, now they're dangerous. Shap asks, will this map make it over to ASA? We don't know. Studio Sirens doesn't have any info or insight regarding, you know, what's next for Ark Aquatica, right? Or anything related to ASA. Ooh, big question from McKay. Jamie, I was wondering if you can provide some context on this, or any dev that's in here too. Here's a question for the team. Will it be possible to do some general changes to the creatures in the game, mostly a stat rebalance for old creatures like the base stamina and weight values? They say they really need to be updated so the game is more accessible for new players and just in general so the creatures are not useless compared to others. Yeah, Jamie, could you elaborate on that and answer that? Turbo, we don't have any new updates regarding the Linux binary situation, but that is something, again, that's in our top priorities list and we are actively addressing. Any updates on that, or if we have anything else that changes, we'll be pushing that out as info for you guys. Essentially what's going on right now with all of these other priority issues, such as like the server issues, server cluster transfers, server transfers in general, Linux binary situation, all of that, essentially what's happening is these are tasks that are being addressed and they're being identified, and we're finding fixes for, and currently still trying to find fixes for, back and forth, essentially like hitting these tasks back and forth, trying to get them done as quickly as we can, but still get them done in an efficient manner to push them out so that way you get a patch and update that's not going to break, right? We don't want to push something out that's just going to be even more broken. We want to make sure that it's working, we're confirming it's working, and we test it in our test branch, and then we push it out to you guys. Eugene 800, what are the plans for the Epic Games version of Ark? Currently, there's no update for the aquatic map on Epic. Are there any plans to update it? And if so, what can we expect? So I don't have any info regarding Epic or the Ark version on Epic. Neither does the team on that matter. That is something similar to the situation with like console release and other situations like that. We don't have any knowledge on where Aquatica is going from here. All we know is that when we were brought to make Aquatica, we were told that it was for Steam only. That's what we were told. We didn't get any additional details regarding the consoles or other platforms. But if anything changes, like I've said, if anything changes, any news comes up, you know, we'll be pushing out info to the Discord, to socials, keeping you guys up to date. So you guys will be kept up to date if anything does change, right? as well as any additional news that comes out, like you guys have been. All right. Ben asked, obviously when it comes to like fixing bugs and doing damage control, if you want to call it that, right? Because with every game launch, there's going to be a very hefty set of bugs that release, right? And situations occur where things break, especially core functions break. And so, I wouldn't say it's necessarily hard for us. While it is a challenge, but it's a good challenge, right? Because it's brought our team closer together, I feel like, and everybody's been communicating day in, day out, and we have a really solid plan of how to target and address these bugs that you guys report to us, and I think that we're doing a very effective job of it. All right, little over 4 minutes there, got an extra minute, so I'm going to stop answering questions, but keep your questions coming into the chat, please, because Jamie Egg here is going to be full send trying to get your guys' questions. So if you have one, ping Jamie Egg 2500. He'll be able to answer those for you. And again, our other developers are taking screenshots of your questions and pushing them to our dev channel, so they are being seen, they're visible, and they're heard. Other than that, I say we get on to these announcements. Yesterday was a pretty big patch. We addressed quite a few things. Still some things that are in the works. We're going to talk about what's in the pipeline right now, what top priorities are still remaining, which, much like the other announcements and the progress posts you've seen, top priorities really have not changed, right? The reason why the top priorities list has been stagnant with these is because not only are these complex bugs that we are fixing, but they're not just something that we can simply push a button and then send out the patch for, right? These bugs in particular take time, they take patience, and we want to make sure that we get these done right to ensure that once these updates are pushed out for these top priority bugs and they're fixed, they stay fixed, right? So we appreciate everybody's patience going through this. We understand that, the length of time that it's taking. Of course, you guys have questions, but by all means, please keep sending in your questions. So, as always, your good afternoon statement. We're going to skip through this. The current schedule for streams will still remain Tuesday and Thursday. So I'll be live again this Thursday for another dev stream. Of course, our top priority issues still remain the same. Our FPS and level optimization, our mod compatibility, as well as an updated dev kit. The server issues, which includes server transfers, cluster transfers, things like that. Those are included when we say server issues. So those are also something we're looking at, as well as core functionality. I'd mentioned in the last week's stream that the reason why you guys are not seeing a dev kit pushed out yet is because we're currently blocked on 2 core functionality bugs that are preventing us from pushing out the dev kit. So we're still addressing those and getting those bugs fixed. And once those are done, then we can focus more of our attention onto the dev kit to getting that pushed out to you guys. So any changes on the ETA for that will be pushed out to you. All of these, and then again, the top priority list will be coming out in iterations, especially the mods. Like I said, on the 22nd of July, we had a pretty large chunk of mods that we were confirmed working by our team that we also tested in our test branch, and we pushed those out. We're also starting to see from other players that their mods that haven't been pushed out in the patch notes have been working for them. So keep an eye out on mods that you may have downloaded. Give them a test yourself in a new character. See, if they work. And if you guys have experienced any issues with the list of mods we've pushed out to confirm working and you're still having issues, please report that up. If you're encountering mods that say they're broken on the broken mods list made by the community, but you found them to work in the live branch, please also send that up to us as well, so we can address and we can check off those mods. So your communication with us has been effective, it's been important to us, and we're actively listening to you guys in the Discord as well as on socials. All right, let's get into the patch notes. Right out the gate, first one on the list. So there was a huge issue with baby dinos and water pressure. The water pressure was essentially killing off baby dinosaurs. It was killing off new spawns, and it was just very frustrating for players. In yesterday's patch, the baby dinos will no longer be affected by water pressure. So regardless of where you're at in the map, how deep you are, your new dinos will no longer be affected by that game mechanic. Only the players will. We've also fixed the tamed adult dinos to not being acclimated to water pressure when they start in. So if you tame a dinosaur that's in a deeper portion, they will already be acclimated to that pressure level. So you don't have to worry about that. We fixed cryopod issues for not saving the water pressure acclimation for dinos. So when players used their cryopods on dinos and then brought their dinos back out, the water pressure was affecting them. This has since been fixed and pushed out in yesterday's update. As well as the issue of the infection augments not being, like, the infection augments not saving when you equip them in your cryopod. That has also been fixed. This is the one I think people were a bit confused on. Also, can you see the full thing? Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. You guys can't even see the full screen. Hold on, 1 second. Here we go. Is that better? You guys see the full sentence now? Pro Scream, any luck on ticket negative 0160? Can you specify what that ticket was about? Sweet. Okay, so the Stinger ship crash, like I said at the beginning of the stream, there was a bug where if you had another player or if your friend was standing next to you and you hopped into a Stinger and flew it around them within close proximity, it was crashing other players' games. It would crash your friend's game. I'm just using friends there as an example. So we have since then found a fix to fix the crash related issue with the Stinger ships. We're still addressing the disappearing bug where the Stinger and the Skiff disappear when you spawn them. That one is still being addressed. We did have a fix for it last week, but that was something we had to roll back along with the dino disappearing issue because of the long wait times and the menu freezing situation with the primal game data. So we're still addressing it, and we should have a fix pushed out at a later ETA for a later patch. Other issues that we addressed and fixed, such as the saved character preset list appearing behind the main character creation UI and overlapping. That was a fix. Not being able to equip the Thalassian rocket launcher whenever you build it or unlock it. We've also increased the Alpha Dacosaurus attack range. We noticed that was a bit shorter than anticipated, so that has since been increased. We've enabled a tail swipe attack for wild and riderless Dacosaurus as well. We fixed the Tridacna providing paste as well as instead of cementing paste. So now Tridacna should provide that paste option for you. The Abyssal Reaper offspring. So players were coming and asking us, what's the deal with the Abyssal Reaper offspring? Are they tameable? Are they not tameable? Why do they just follow me around? So now they will attack you when you are down in the abyss and you get close to them. This does not mean they're tameable. This just means that now they have another feature. They actually have some sort of attack system rather than just staring at you menacingly through abyss bushes. The baby Vulcanite, there were some issues where the rendering, it was clipping in and out rapidly, almost as if it was it would disappear and reappear. We have since fixed that rendering issue, so you shouldn't see any of the clipping or the popping in rapidly. Some SFX additions to some of the other dino attacks, increasing the hit radius and damage for the players when near the wall eel. So the radius is now larger instead of having to get really close to the wall eel. So now wall eels are even more scary. We added more bee spawns. We noticed while there were bees around the cliffs of the islands, especially the western islands, they were still severely lacking, so we increased the spawns for beehives. Explore net locations have been updated. We noticed that there were a few that were either in the wrong placement or just weren't showing up at all. We identified which notes were doing this, and we fixed those, as well as some boss spawn issues that have been addressed to actually provide the tech engram drops. The tech engrams we're referring to are the latest list of tech engrams that we provided, such as the tech suit, tech turrets, and other additional pieces of gear. So that is all that was released yesterday in yesterday's update. Again, pretty good list of fixes ranging from small, medium, and large. Let's see. Genlo asked, when will transferring? So that is still something that's being addressed. I mentioned it at the beginning of reviewing the patch notes that much like the other top priorities of the FPS and level optimization, these issues, these bugs are not something that we can just simply hit or fix with the click of a button. These take a little bit more time. We're taking our time with fixing these ones because we want to make sure that the fix, we get it right the first time. We don't want to have to push out an update to just cause something else to break. So we're going through, we're testing the fixes, we're finding fixes for them, we're addressing the situation. So expect to see server issue fixes as well as optimization fixes pushed out in increments throughout a multitude of updates. And with that, that is going to be kind of the wrap up for the patch notes from yesterday. Any additional details on future update or patches, any ETAs that come up, again, we'll be pushing those out to you guys as soon as we get one. So pay attention to the status updates, the patch notes announcements, as well as my socials, where I take those and I post them out on other platforms like Twitter, especially Twitter, because I feel like that's where I have the most outreach for quite a bit of the art community. And yeah, stay tuned with us because we'll have some more stuff coming out for you guys. But on that note, who wants to create a custom character and go check out the Western Islands? I think it'd be a lot of fun. Go show you guys around. Have a little fun. It's gonna be a fresh character spawn too. So we're not gonna be doing anything crazy. We're not gonna have a pre-built base. We're not gonna do any of that. We're gonna be fresh spawn. And I'm gonna let you guys decide on the character. So I'm gonna keep hitting randomize, and I want to know which one is best suited. Which one are we going for? Let's see. No, I want something with a big chin. Big chin. Perfect. Oh, look at that back. Look at that. I don't know. Chat, what do we think? Should we do a couple more randomizations? Part turtle? Make it part turtle? Yeah. Let's go part turtle. We haven't done a part turtle here. There we go. He's got a turtle shell. Built like a Ninja Turtle. Perfect, yeah. Arms are wonky long. They could be longer. Call this one Turtle Z. Call it call it Kronk. Yes. Kronk. That's perfect. Can we make our arms longer? Oh. Oh, yeah. If we do like... What do you guys think? some massive forearms. And then I think we can do a... Do we want stubby legs or long legs? What do you guys think? I'm letting you guys decide. Match the calves to the forearms. Oh, genius. Long. That's perfect. That's amazing. All right. So we're going to go to the West Islands. The West Islands aren't... While they are a starting set of islands for players, they're not necessarily the most friendly islands to go off of. So if you're a more experienced Ark survivor and you want to get right into it, you want to get to a more hostile, tame environment, definitely check out the Western Islands or the Volcano Islands or the North. So these three are the more prominent picks for a situation like that. I remember, yeah, Jamie, it was the North Islands. That's where the crocodiles are. And you just had a huge issue with crocs, so. Turn into a corrupted human? No, I'm a turtle. Totally different. Oh, it's nighttime too? All right. So you'll notice when we get out of our animation, and I'm also gonna, let's make it a little daylight here. So, on map, pull up map here. It's kind of hard to see my character icon, but we're in the 50 and 60 latitude point. So very, very far left side of the map, okay, on the western side. But right out the gate, these islands are not like your traditional northern islands or the anniversary islands. These ones have a lot more coverage overhead. There's a lot more, it's a much more denser environment. Beavers spawn in this area. You've got monkeys that also spawn in here as well. This area is very prominent for beehive spawns along the cliffs. So this is... Sorry, I'm taking it all in still. This is one of my favorite spots to spawn into if I want to do a fresh spawn on single player. Oh, there's a supply drop that just fell. The overhanging cliffs with the large vines, the density of the foliage along the cliffs, and just the sheer diversity of the dino tames that you can find, and also how close you are to some of the more hospitable underwater regions of Aquatica. This is a great spot if you want to get a fast start into the game rather than take your time. If you're looking for a starting location to take your time in Aquatica, I would suggest the Anniversary Islands or the Northeastern Islands. Those are probably better suited for you. Let's see. Did I level up? I did level up. And outside of the Western Islands, you have a smaller chain of these more barren islands. But even these islands across from me are loaded with humus seeds, rice seeds. If you need to find rare flowers, you can find them on these islands in front of me here. A good reference note to identify if you're in the correct spot. Obviously, the volcano with the red obelisk in the back corner. I'll even pull up a map reference for you guys. So again, in the latitude points of 50 to 60, this is where we're at right now. Let's go a little bit more inland. I don't want to go out just yet. We just got here. Hang on. I got to turn up my headset volume. There we go. Hi, friend. Oh, you dead? You are. Oh. Hold on. Give me the wood. Give me some stones. I need to harvest that. Stone. Where's some stones? There's a stone. There we go. Sweet. Let's use my oxygen too while I'm at it. There we go. Alright, come here, you. Give me some flint. There we go. Now we can get the axe going. Increase my movement speed. Something else, too, while you guys are starting out on your journey in Aquatica. Some experience points to invest into immediately rather than health, stamina, food, things like that. I personally recommend going movement speed and oxygen, because with your movement speed increase, you're actually going to have a much faster swim stroke when you go underwater, and then obviously increasing your oxygen so you're able to breathe longer underwater, especially when you get more in the deeper areas where there's no plant species W. And in the Western Islands, we still do offer players plant species W around the coastlines and the coral reefs, but they're not as prominent in this region as they would be in the more friendlier areas like the Anniversary Plaza and the Anniversary Islands. Alrighty. I don't have any pants. I need some pants. Don't want to be going pantless here. Has anybody here had their own experience with the Western Islands yet? Wow. This is, oh, man. Chat, I think we made my new favorite character. That's beautiful. That's peak Ark performance right there. That's what that is. Look at the shoes. Like, those are shack size shoes. Glorp. That's Glorp. I like to set next to him crystal wood on the surface. Ah, yes, too. The Western Islands is also full of crystallized wood spawns on the surface of the islands, which is not something you would find in other regions, like the Anniversary Islands or Anniversary Plaza. God, it looks so goofy. Let's see. Let's actually go try to find one of those. Crystallized wood is much like how wood is a fuel source above water. Crystallized wood is a fuel source you can use underwater. And it's very prominent throughout the entirety of Aquatica in the map, in all biomes. My favorite area to go gather crystallized wood is in the shallows. There's a few really good resource veins full of crystallized wood. There's another really good one in the boiling sea as well. The entire region there has a nice crystal pocket. But along the cliff faces, the coastlines of the shallows, you're gonna find quite a few of those resource veins. Can we see your FPS in game? Yeah, absolutely. There we go. And here's a crystal pocket right here. Get myself some crystallized wood. That's a dolphin. Yeah, this spot's a lot of fun. I do think a fun little detail, this is just a total polish thing, but some like hanging vines, some hanging foliage around the entry point here or something to kind of like set dress it. Be really, really, really cool. Any chance, is there any chance a honey can spawn nearby? You know what, let's go look for some honey. We haven't gone to these islands yet. Let's go take a gander. So the direction we're going right now, we're actually going a little bit more north. So we're going to be going to the northwest corner of the map, and this is where we're going to be more in the shallows region. So if you do want to go more to the shallows, if that's where you feel like you want to put your base that's best, then heading more to the northern portions of the map is going to be for you. So right now we're heading north. You can't see my character icon on map. Can't even see the map in general because my big face is in the way. Hold on. There we go. So right now we're in a little bubble, a little circle of map. That's where we're at, and we're currently heading north. And the way that you can tell you're heading north is from the sunken structures off in the distance. Also the green obelisk. So the green obelisk sits more up in the northeastern corner of the map, in the sulfur pits. So if you use that as a bearing, that's how you know in what direction you're going. All right? So green obelisk, northeast corner. All right, let's find some honey. Here, I'll move it again real quick so you guys can see, and then I'll put my camera back on because I know a lot of people want to see the camera. So, again, here we are. We'll go out to the beach. So, green obelisk is right behind that building. You can see it. Looks like we even got a drop in the distance there, that smokestack. And then north, some landmarks that will let you know that you're going north again is the sunken tech structures off in the distance, the green obelisk, as well as the volcano. The volcano sits more further north on the map rather than in the middle. So any of these landmarks are going to help you when it comes to identifying what direction you're going. All right, I'm going to put my camera back on. You guys can see my face. Hi. All right, now let's find some bees. Let's find some bees. See if they're in this area. We'll go check those other walls too. I really like this spot as well. This is one of my favorite spots on the Western Islands. All these smaller little rock formations and the waterfalls. Again, the vines overhead. Very dense canopies on top of the cliffs as well. That's a fun environment. Okay. Honey might take a minute to spawn in. Oof. Well, that's no good, Jammy. I'm trying to do some exploration here. You tell me I gotta wait on honey? There's a water pool over there. Yes, there is. There is. We'll go over there in a minute if I can't find any honey. I see no honey. My character is huge. Yeah, but this is just, it's just so fun. The ambience too, of the birds chirping, the mist from the waterfalls, the sun shining down. It's a fun area. I really do enjoy this spot. Snail! There's a snail. In case you didn't know, there's a snail there. I got some points to level up and stuff. There we go. Get some more stones. Hi, friend. Let's go check. Oh. Uh-oh. Berries. Where are you? Should probably cook some of that meat. Hi, Dodo. Do I have a clam? No, I don't have a clam. There's no clam on the island here. We're looking for honey right now because we increased the honey spawn. So then I got told we got to wait for the honey to spawn in. So Jammy's just making me run across the walls looking like a dingus. They're pretty cliffs, though. You gotta admit, like, this is, come on. Like, this is pretty. This is fun. Oh, here's one. Little axolotl friend. Hi, friend. Hi, friend. Go back to my fire pit. Start whistling for the bees. The dinner of champions. Absolutely. Alright, there we go. Now I can eat some proper food. So my character was starving. But no. The Western Islands are, again, they're not the most friendly of starting spots for players, but they are fun. They're fun. They're different from the other islands in the northern region, such as the Anniversary Plaza. Anniversary Plaza is a bit more run down, more ruinous, and I mean it's meant to be more of a plaza center, right? Something to represent 10 years of Ark Survival Evolved, whereas the Western Islands are more more drops. Cool. They're more dense, they're thicker, lush, vibrant, but with a few predatorial tames as well around the area. Jammy, I don't know if I can wait much longer to check out this honey, man. I know they take a minute to spawn. We might just move on. We've actually already made our way through quite a bit of it as well. So we started on the opposite side of these islands, actually. So we started down in the corner there where just below this latitude point of 60, worked our way up. So there's quite a bit here for players to explore. And there's still a nice chain of these smaller islands on the outside as well. Oh, here we go. Kakuma seeds. Gimme. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Oh, wait, what is that? Is that one right there? Nope, it's not. I thought that was honey. It was a beehive. Alright, now we're coming up on the edge of the Western Islands, and we're going to start transitioning into the shallows regions. This is another surface crystal spawn as well. Get around these rocks, actually, so you guys can see better. Here we go. Chat, I'm going to cheat. Ah! Eel! Go away. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. 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 Wow, I'm glad I put infinite stats on there. Wow. They were not... see what I mean? See what I mean? Not the most friendly of starting points. Wow, they did not like I got close to their crystals. That was not cool. All right. So this is one of the other coral reefs. There's quite a few of these coral reefs scattered around the Western Islands as well. Oh, no. Go away, you. Oh, hold on. Okay, you guys suck. Ow. And I'm naked. All right, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, eel and gators, not my friends. No. Stop it. Okay, they're gone. Oh, no, they're not. You know what helps against eels? Dragon stew. Remember that. Got a video on how to make dragon stew in one of the previous stream VODs as well. So be sure to go check that out. Anyway, where we're at right now, we're actually transitioning into the shallows. So we just came across... Is he still chasing me? I solved that problem legitimately. Don't ask questions. Alright, so we're entering the shallows region. This is going to be one of the entry points of the shallows, actually. We came across from the coral reef from the Western Islands. And I'll show you guys on the map real quick, just kind of where we are. Pull up map here. Alright, so now we're at latitude points 20 and 30 on map. So that's where we're sitting at right now. We're still on the far left corner, far western corner of the map. And we're about to go to the northernmost corner of the shallows. This is essentially kind of the beginning point of the shallows, if you will. This is also a phenomenal spot, too, for resources. Metal, manganese, quite a lot of metal and manganese, actually. Sap. You can gather sap from the purple trees here. Salt. You can gather salt from here as well. Some of the coral structures, more of the spiky-looking coral, they provide you with salt. Here we've got some of our manganese. Again, all along the edges here and northwesternmost corner is going to be some good resource vein for manganese. And if you're looking just to harvest pure manganese, a majority of it, use an axe or a hatchet. Don't use a pickaxe. Pickaxe is going to give you more a mix of metal and manganese. So if that's what you're going for, use a pickaxe. But if you're wanting purely manganese, use a hatchet. Oh, I love that rock. My rock is low gravity. Cool. So yeah, quite a bit of manganese over here. So if you guys are struggling to find some, definitely check out the northwesternmost corner of the shallows. Which we've done a shallows dive before. It was one of the first biomes that we did explore. But if you guys, I know there's been a request for a more proper biome exploration video. I am currently working on some documentation of a kind of like a channel series. This is a personal channel series that I'd like to do for Ark Aquatica in regards to stuff like this. So stay tuned on that regarding like guides, how-tos, things like that. Because, you know, there's not really a whole lot of proper tutorials out there yet for Aquatica. So, yeah, all work in progress. And hopefully to have some good stuff here soon. This is one of my favorite portions of the Shallows map because while you've got all of the fun sunken city structures, the friendly, not as hostile areas, immediately down below, which we're actually also close to an explorer node. There's a couple explorer nodes actually in this region. I think we're actually going to come across one here pretty soon. There it is. You guys see it on screen? Just put your camera. So I'm gonna have to go into my editor and the template that I have, and I'm gonna have to do some adjustments off stream. But we've got a explore note location. What do we got here? Ah, got a field journal from Dr. Ingrid Wise. Sweet. Awesome. Entry number 22. Let's go. Speaking of entries, underneath the Shallows, there is a sewer system. We've explored it once before. We'll explore it again. Because somebody was asking me in a previous stream about compost. And I remember in a stream I showed you guys the poop plant. I feel like we should address the poop plant again. Do you guys want to see the poop plant before we move on to a QA segment? Rachel, I think you do. Fender, I know you definitely want to see it. Ooh, yeah, a lot of eels. So this is the tech sewers, or one of the sections of it. We're underneath the Shallows right now. You can build in sections here, as well as gather other resources like crystals, there's manganese, all sorts of resources that are viable for underneath here to stay for long periods. Everyone should know about the poop plant. I agree. I agree with that. So we're going to go find where the poop plant is. And to find a poop plant, you can actually find it here at this very fun entry point. I'm going to turn Leave Me Alone on real quick, just so I don't get destroyed. So when you find this really ooey gooey entryway in the tech sewers, first off, there's actually a fun little explorer note hidey hole somewhere along this wall. So if you could find it, would love to see you guys post pictures in a server ad in the Discord and ping me. All right, so now as you get closer to the entrance, you're gonna come across these eggs. Don't mess with the eggs. Don't mess with the eggs. Eggs are bad. Okay. But now, see these plants right here? Kind of like a growing green emission. I'm going to warn everybody right now, there's going to be a lot of colors coming onto the screen when I get close to this. So if you guys are sensitive to high colors, anything like that, please, don't look so close or look away if you have to. But it's going to look like a rave here in about 5 seconds. But if you guys are ever in the need to get manure for compost, right, and you can't really find any, you actually have a compost generator right here underwater. So everyone, cue the rave emotes. Let's get them going in chat. You could spam them if you want. We're going to go in 3. I'm going to turn this off so you can see what happens as I proceed to get close to the poop plant. Yeah, buddy. There we go. Look at that compost material. There we go. We'll back out of it real quick so I can stop tripping over here and just leave a trail. But yeah, you just proceed to defecate over and over and over again. Whew. All right, look at all that. Look at all that compost material. Pretty rad, huh? So yeah, you can find this in the tech sewers. Any of the brine pools, there might be 1 or 2 scattered in those areas, but this spot is very prominent for these plants. So if you guys actually, if you do need something for a compost bin, then this is the spot to go to. Does that work on your dinos? Jammy, does the plant work on your dinos if you take it near them? I haven't tested that. Wow, that's something I should have tested. I'd love to go test. Hope you guys had voice to Explorer notes. That'd be fun. I know we had like talked about the idea of getting voices. The problem is with that is like, you know, we would just need to figure out, you know, when and who after we knock out the current priorities and the more critical issues. So if that were to be something to come up as like a fix or something, it would be on the lower priority end, just because the Explorer notes are already in, and again we'd have to address the additional critical issues first. But on that note, guys, that's been our little exploration segment. So we checked out the Western Islands. I got chased by eels. I got trolled into scanning the cliff walls for honey by Jammy Egg. And we checked out the poop plant again. You guys really like the poop plant. It's very interesting. I'd love to know why you guys are so fascinated by that. But on that note, we've got a little bit over extra time, and I think we should go into another QA segment. As always, my pen and paper right here. Let's turn some of the... Let's get the tunes back on. Who doesn't love a lovely garden? Absolutely. I love a garden. I love a good, lovely garden, especially in an underwater garden. Duh. You kidding me? It's amazing. All right. So, final Q&A segment for today's stream. Guys, again, if you guys have any questions, if you're encountering any additional bugs, if you're encountering bugs from this last update, this is the time to enter them into the chat. Please let us know. I've got my pen and paper as well. If you guys have questions directed for myself regarding the level, or if you have any questions outside of it, anything like that, please throw them in here and we'll answer them to the best of our abilities. You should grow some plant species W on stream. Ooh, we'll do that Thursday. You guys want to know how to grow underwater oxygen plants on Thursday? That's a good idea. I think we should show that off. Are there any plans to nerf the heal turtle? I feel like being able to soak and heal itself while soaking is a bit too long. Jamie, can we get an answer for Scraffy? Tina's asking, can we have our own poop plants at our bases? You know, Raven, you have whatever type of plants you want at your base because it's your base, okay? And if that's the type of plant you want, go for it. I can show you how to get some plant species W's. But as for those plants specifically, no, you can't harvest those ones. Are dung beetles getting fixed? They do not collect poop. Jamie, can we get an answer for the dung beetle situation? Anything regarding like dinos situations or tame situations or other NPCs, things like that? Definitely Jamie would have the best answers for you on that, since he is the dino, one of the many dino masters of the team here. We have a few amazing dino masters here. Who just answered, Jamie? All right. So, yeah, plant species W. So, if you noticed, Raven, when we were flying around the shallows and those coral reefs, there were these blue emissive plants that were sending out bubbles. So, those are called plant species W. Those plants allow you to breathe underwater whenever you get into close proximity with them. And it's indefinite until you delete or you harvest the plant. How is the team doing? Are you still having a good time getting ready? Absolutely. We're having an amazing time. It's been there's been obviously challenges with certain things and certain fixes, and you guys are just as much aware of the situation with the fixes as we roll out updates for you guys. But no, overall, we're having a great time. We're working hard together. We're communicating with you guys, and doing what we can to keep pushing out these updates as quickly and effectively as possible. So all heads are high here. All heads are high here. Will Aquatica FPS ever be optimized to the level of a map like Ragnarok or Island where FPS is very high? Is FPS main focus? So Griffin, great question. FPS is a main focus. That still remains a top priority for us. And while you won't see one set update that fixes the entirety of the FPS issues, what instead you're going to see is a iteration of FPS fixes coming out in a multitude of updates. So that's how we plan to address the FPS situation. Just because Aquatica is a large map, we want to make sure that we're going through it thoroughly, making sure that we're optimizing each chunk as we go through it. Correct the first time to make sure everything's stabilized, and then we push those out in increments. So yes, FPS is still a very high issue for us, and it remains one. Do you have information for official servers? Official servers as far as Aquatica, or can you elaborate on that? Sorry, the color of it. Adrem? Are there any news on being able to build in artifact caves? No news on that at the moment. We've gotten feedback on that from multiple players, especially PvP players, so that feedback has been pushed up. It hasn't been ignored. That is something that, if we are going to address it, it will most likely be after we fix a few more of the critical issues that are currently up, that are causing, again, crashes, people's games, low optimization, things like that. So that is being addressed, though. Big takeaway. It's not being ignored. We're not ignoring that. And we're not ignoring any feedback that comes through from you guys in the community. So all of it's being reviewed, all of it's being put in its proper place, where it would be on the totem pole for things to take care of. So if there's any updates on that or ETA, much like everything else, we'll push that out to you guys. Can we get a stream with the team playing? I don't know. I think that'd be a question I would have to push up to our lead. And, we just have to see like what that would entail. Obviously, just because there's a lot of other things right now that we are focusing on, and everybody else on the team is hard at work, bug fixes, things like that. So it would most likely have to be during a time after we've handled the critical issues at hand, as those take priority. But I think a team dev stream would be fun. All right, guys, we're going to go one more minute. So at the 15:30 mark, we're going to call it there for the segment. So about a minute 30 for you guys, or a minute. Got about a minute left for QA here, and then before we close up this segment. I'd play on stream. Absolutely. I'd be down to play, too, on more casual streams with the team, Jamie. I think it'd be fun, too. Like outside of working hours. You know what I mean? Just casual, do like a dev server. All of us just kind of jump in, have some fun. Hey, I know that poster. I know that poster too. It's pretty awesome. Alrighty, folks. Nobody leave. I'm not saying goodbye right now. We're going to wrap this up. I'm going to close off the QA segment there. But don't worry. If your question wasn't answered, if I didn't get to it, or if Jamie didn't get to it, it was most likely screenshotted. We have other developers in the chat that are actively watching. They're just not talking, because what they're doing is they're taking screenshots of your statements or your questions, and we're putting them into our dev chat to review. So if you guys have any other questions, please reach out to us on the Discord. Exclamation Discord in the chat. I'll go ahead and I'll add that for you guys now. That is the official Aquatica Discord. Please go join it if you have not. You can post all of your bug reports, your server ads. You can reach out to me, chat with other people who have been playing the game, find other servers, other tribes there. If you guys are coming into this stream late and you missed out on a good chunk of it, don't worry. All of the previous stream VODs are available raw and unedited on my YouTube channel. Exclamation YouTube. That link is going to take you. There's an Aquatica playlist that has every single stream from the day that Aquatica launched on the 15th of July. So all of the streams are there. You can review them all, play them back, and see, you know, the progression that we've made over the weeks. And lastly, we're going to go find somebody to raid. I think it is time. Let's go see who's playing Ark Survival Evolved. Who's playing Aquatica more specifically? I think that would be Aquatica more specific. I think that would be obviously a good one to go try and find. Let's see. Who do we got here? Turn off my screen. Oh, I see somebody playing Aquatica, it looks like. Maybe. They've got a Thalassian rifle. Who else? Any first-time players? We found a couple first-time Ark players. Let's see. You're an Aquatica gameplay streamer? Well, at any point in time, if you're ever live on here and we're ending a dev stream, you know when to catch us. These only usually go for about an hour, hour and a half. Okay, so Girl Gaming 2020 looks like they're playing Ark Survival Evolved. Just starting out. Let's go get them a raid. What do you guys say? Let's go give them a raid. Make sure I spell it right, because last time I tried to raid the Fender and I forgot to add the, so I raided a different Fender and they were offline, so Sag. Alright guys, I'm gonna get that queued up. On that note, this has been an Ark Aquatica developer stream. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm glad you all showed up. Had a great time exploring. I will see you guys all again this Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific time with another Aquatica developer stream with hopefully more updates, more exploration, maybe even a couple tames. Find out on Thursday. Till then, see ya.